Whew. Jalen Ramsey.
All right, guys. Jason, you can take off your mask if you'd like. Let's see. We got Steven on. Anybody else? All right, we got a crew here. If Jerry, you want to open us up with the first question for Jason?
Okay. Jason, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Give me an indication of with the kind of pressure that might be on your shoulders now with Damari out for the season at the other cornerback this year.
Well, really, I don't like to think of it as any more, additional pressure. I think it's the pressure I put on myself initially. Even if I had Damari on the side, I definitely do feel like, it was a trust thing as far as, as much experience as he had. But I'm a very vocal guy in our room, regardless of who's there and who's not. And I just kind of try and just keep coaching the younger guys. I mean, it's obviously, I'm going to have to do it a bit more, but it's something I've always been willing to accept.
It's a very experienced secondary you got this season. Is that, athletically, obviously you guys are very good too, but is that the big thing that might set you apart this year as you guys are seasoned? You've been through the wars?
Oh, that's definitely going to separate us. I mean, we got guys that got 3, 4, and they're going on 4 years of experience now in college football. So that's definitely going to make the games slow down for us, which we can play faster and make more plays and turn those PBUs into interceptions.
Jason, how you feeling physically? You feel 100% going into this season?
Yeah, I feel great. I was just talking to my dad about it. It's like, I was down in Cocoa during quarantine, just isolated and training. This is the most time as a college athlete you get, the professionals' time to, care for your body, recover. And that's with, just staying in the training room and, doing prehab instead of rehab,
Jason, I think you saw it's good to be a corner in the NFL. Hey, I was just curious. Austin P has they have some guys that have put up some numbers on the outside. Just what are some impressions of what you've seen filmed from them?
I mean, yeah, we're not even on the outside. We got guys on the inside. I think he led the FCS in receiving yards, number 11. But, we don't take anybody lightly. We definitely get a chance to, just play the game again. And like you said, they got some good guys on the outside that I love to match up with and show them what I could do.
Have you thought about what it's going to be like to walk out there and no one's going to be in there but you guys?
We did. And, we practice like it. We practice like it because nobody's going to be there. It's just us. We're the energy. And energy is contagious. So we know as long as we keep that energy, at least the team would, keep it throughout the game.
Jason, what are you seeing out of Marquez and AJ, kind of on the opposite side of you?
Trust. They're gaining trust. They're earning trust every day. And that's mentally. That's grasping the playbook. That's making their plays when the time comes. And really, within our defense, it's just that edge. You got to have that edge, especially at corner. You're left on the island a lot. You gotta know and believe that you're the best. And yeah, so that's what we're seeing from them. We're getting great production out of both of them.
Jason, how did you find out that Damari was kind of out for the year, and what were those kind of initial thoughts that were going through your head at that time?
He called me personally and just was, down on it. And he's I've had a surgery before, just how to battle that mentally. And just kind of been there for him there, and just not to beat himself up, and just, God has a plan, man. I just try and explain that to him, and not only him, everybody, is that, we just living in it. And, you got to accept it. You got to let the adversity teach you.
Do you feel like the expectations for this defense changes at all without Damari, and obviously with Jalen opting out?
It's definitely going to change. It's definitely going to change. You got a projected first rounder, leave from the team, and then you have, again, he would have been on his fourth year of experience at corner. I mean, but the thing is, it's football, so it's next man up mentality, and that's something we've been dealing with this COVID and stuff like that. So it's next man up mentality, and we have trust in all of our guys, 1, 2, 3 deep.
Coaches praised a couple of the younger guys, Rashad Battle and Javante Royal, namely. What have you seen from the young guys coming in, the rookies, just compared to your couple of years on the team now?
I would say the receptiveness, like anytime you talk to them, it's like it's no talking. It's just, they're trying to understand. They genuinely want to understand conceptually about the defense and offenses, So I think that's the thing that's going to separate them. And I keep trying to stress that to them is being receptive to not only coaches, but your players, your vets that's in the room with you. And, they've been extremely receptive, and that's not to even touch base on their physique. Those are big corners, just like me. And just trying to talk to them within their game of being a big corner, because our game's a little different than a 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" corner. We got to use our size, and that's what we got to do.
Jason, obviously the defense will change because you're losing two great athletes, but what would change scheme-wise, what you might be able to do X and O's on the field?
I haven't seen much throughout this process change schematically. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't really have anything on that one.
Jason, you talked about how it's different for big corners. You obviously got your first opportunity really as a guy that kind of specialized in shutting down some bigger guys. You guys have traditionally played field and boundary, but do you think you might get an opportunity to maybe follow some guys around this year, especially if there's a team that has a big physical receiver?
Hey, look, I hope. I tell Doozy every time, just put me on the biggest of the best. And that's, look, I'll fight for that one. But boundary requires a bit more knowledge. So I think I'll find myself in the boundary more this year, especially with the circumstances we're in.
Jason, apologize if this was already asked. I got here a little late, but I wanted to ask you about the level of communication that you guys have and the chemistry that's going on between the guys in the back in that secondary, because a lot of you guys have played together, you, Paris, Damar, and there may be new guys, but what's your feeling on the growth and you've seen in your understanding of the game, and then your trust in your teammates, like, hey, this guy's covering for me because these different switches really well?
Well, you hit right on the head. What I was going to start with is the trust. We have a lot of trust in each other. We've made our mistakes together, and we've had success together. And I think that's the biggest thing is, and that goes to touch on the communication. I mean, we talk so much, and I've noticed how much we talk pre-snap now. Before it was just, do your job, and now we're seeing things that we weren't seeing together before, whether that be 2018, 2019.
Do we have any other questions for Jason?
Jason, just one other one for me. I'm just curious, how proud are you as a team for how you guys have handled all the restrictions during this pandemic?
I'm still shocked almost. It's crazy. It was such a just, you floating in a gray area. You never knew. You got guys. These are, and I think people tend to forget that these are 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old guys that are dealing with something one of a kind. And, with COVID going on and these protocols and trying to stay safe and, fighting the temptation of being a typical college student, and that's partying or, whatever. And I'm extremely proud. I'm extremely proud of the teams, my room, and just everybody, staff members, everybody, because it takes everybody.
Jason, do you normally have family come down to games or go to games, and how disappointing kind of will that be that for home games at least, family and friends won't be able to be there and in September at the very least?
Extremely. I called my mom last night, and I was like, you haven't missed a game since I was 7. Like, it's crazy. My dad coached me since I was 7, all the way up until high school. 17, hasn't missed a game. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but I know that they're there. They're just not physically there. So just not having that presence, that sideline presence, is gonna be different for me. It's gonna be different for me, but it's something I'm gonna have to adapt to.
Jason, I've asked this to other players from other position groups when it comes to how you guys handle the off season. You had to like work in Zoom meetings for a while. What were some of the biggest things you saw growing through that period and just learning kind of away from the field and concepts that challenged you that you were able to grow from when you guys were able to eventually take the field in training camp?
Right, yeah, and I was talking to my DB coach probably like a few weeks ago, and we were saying how much faster we're playing because they actually understand the concepts of the defense. You know what other pieces are doing, so you know where voided zones are, or things like that. And even the younger guys kind of surprise me sometimes in the meeting when they answer questions. I'm like, oh, okay, like they're really grasping the knowledge, and that's something other classes they weren't, allowed that opportunity because you come in and the stuff is flying in the summer. You're coming in, it's workouts, meetings, all type of stuff. So to get that downtime, I guess you want to call it, and within the Zoom meetings, and I know beyond our Zoom meetings, I would FaceTime some of them and we'll talk even more football. So they had plenty of time to really grasp like what's going on within our defense conceptually.
Jason, I'm not sure when we're going to get to talk to you again, so if you'll indulge me a look ahead, talking about fans in the stands, how much would you have been appreciative of being able to have some fans up at Boston College, up near your hometown there, a little quick drive from your hometown? How much would that have been a nice thing for you? And I guess, are you still hopeful that might happen?
I'm extremely hopeful for that. I'm extremely hopeful for that. I need something this year. Like I said, my parents have been extremely present, specifically in my athletic career, and been very, very hands-on. They road runners. I call my two ladies, my grandma, my mom. They road runners. They'll drive, fly anywhere, and that one game would mean a lot. Mean a lot.
Was Boston College a place you considered going?
It was. I was committed there for about 7 or 6 months, and I ended up decommitting, I think, about 2 months before signing there in 2017.
So will your family get together, and what will the atmosphere be like if they do in that house watching you?
It's gonna be weird because now definitely the last time we were there at Chestnut Hill, it was as a commit, So we were soaking it in as being an Eagle. So to be playing against the Eagles, that'd be interesting.
What are their plans for this weekend? Are they coming into town to try and meet up with you after the game or something, or are they staying up in Connecticut?
Nah, they staying home, staying safe. I don't let my grandma out the house.
No.
No, sir.
Wait, I'm curious, Jason, what did Narduzzi say to you to get you to decommit from BC?
He just showed me the campus. That's all. He showed me how they work here. And the biggest thing was definitely the Steelers. I'm a guy who just love to pick brains. So to have that availability was something I love.
Jason, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Outstanding conversation. If anybody showed up late, we will send you the entire video from Jason's session with the media today, and we'll have DJ Turner up shortly. Jason, thank you very much.
All right, RJ.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, we're all set with DJ Turner here. Feel free to ask any questions, guys.
How y'all doing?
DJ, how did the process to transfer to
DJ,
Pitt?
how are you today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Okay, I was just wondering, you got here only about a week or so ago. How in tune are you with the way things are done here, and are you ready to contribute on Saturday?
Yeah. So it took me a couple days to kind of get my feet under me, and just get used to like the practice schedule and kind of get back in shape. And but once I started feeling comfortable, everything kind of started moving slower and getting a little bit easier for me. So now 2 days, or what's today? When it's a couple days, we got 3 days away from the game. I feel confident going in, and I'm, like you said, I'm ready to contribute.
DJ, there was Pat Narduzzi was saying there was a connection between your cousin and him, and that kind of got the ball rolling with this transfer. Kind of tell us a little bit about that backstory and how it all kind of came together.
It was actually my older brother. So 21 years ago, Coach Narduzzi recruited my older brother from DeMatha High School, and when he was at University of Rhode Island. So they had a relationship, and once everything kind of went downhill at Maryland with the Big Ten canceling their season, I reached out to my brother and was like, yeah, I think I want to go play in a different conference that's playing. So he reached out to coach and, you know what I'm saying, asked them if they were interested and things like that. So that's kind of how everything took place.
DJ, you mentioned it in just a few days of practice. How is it that you feel you'll be able to make an impact, or why is it that you feel you'll be able to make an impact so quickly?
Well, I kind of feel comfortable with Coach Beatty, you know what I'm saying, being that he coached me at Maryland for 3 years. And so that part was kind of like the easiest transition. And then like once I got in shape, because for a couple of weeks I kind of wasn't doing anything, just trying to figure out my next move. So once I got in shape and felt more confident with the offense and the scheme, it started to feel a little bit better for me. So like then however they need me to contribute on Saturday, I'm all for it. Like with no matter what it is, whatever opportunities I get, I'll make the most of them.
DJ, do you think you might be able to, if not Saturday, at least later in the season, kind of get some reps in at punt return? Obviously, you made an impact in that area at Maryland.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm definitely trying to get as many reps as I can. Maybe this weekend, depending on how everything goes, and then definitely like later in the season once, you know what I'm saying, I kind of get rolling, hopefully make some plays in the game, and then they trust me back there to be like the guy or one of the guys that they got returning. So I'm looking forward to that.
DJ, Coach Narduzzi said that he was going to put you in every receiver role when you first got announced here. Has that been the case so far? Have you found a place where you're more at home right now? Or like what's that been like developing the relationship with Kenny Pickett and the different spots you got to line up in so fast?
Yeah, so right now I'm kind of trying to learn everything. So once I kind of get the basic concepts of the whole offense, it'll be a lot easier for me. So instead of just learning one position, like they're probably going to try to mix and match me in different spots. So and in order for me to kind of get on the field as much as I want to and as much as they need me to, it'd probably be better for me to learn everything. And just getting chemistry with all the quarterbacks, not only just Kenny, is kind of big for me. So but they're all great. So I'm looking forward to being out there with whoever is the guy throwing it around.
DJ, you had 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years at Maryland. Do you feel like you're a pretty quick study when it comes to picking up a system on the fly like this? And is this Pitt offense that you're learning similar to anything you did at Maryland?
Yeah, so like you said, after 3 different offensive coordinators, you start to realize that like it's all the same concepts, just different terminology. So getting here, like basically like the biggest thing for me was just memorizing the different terminology that they use aside from what we did at Maryland. And it definitely is some stuff that is similar to what we did at Maryland because I think they kind of took some stuff from Matt Canada as well. So he was there at Maryland for a little bit. So it's not too hard to pick up on. I don't have it yet 100%, but I'm definitely getting close.
DJ, it has to be unique kind of joining a team as late as you did. What guys on the team are you kind of, hanging out with and they're kind of showing you the ropes, or have you built any of those relationships yet?
Not necessarily. I'll learn from people watching film, like based off what they do, but just because of what's going on, like I'm trying to kind of keep my distance like away from the facilities. So but at some point I would like start to build those relationships. But like my focus right now is just learning the offenses as soon as possible. And then it's a lot of younger guys too that I could try to help out as much as I can. Or they might know the offense a little bit better than me that can help me out. So like I'm open like for all questions from any of those guys or vice versa.
DJ, before
DJ's
the Big Ten postponed the season, what do you perceive your role as being at Maryland this year?
Definitely a leader over there in Maryland. Like this would have been my 5th year there, and like a lot of those guys kind of look at me as like a big brother. So the starting punt returner, kick returner, and then also the starting receiver in the slot. So I mean, I definitely plan on having a big year there. And like I mentioned before, it had nothing to do with anything going on personally in Maryland. Like I got love for all of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Coach Locke's a great coach. Coach Mo and Coach Joker, they're all great people. It's just due to the circumstances with the Big Ten, I felt like I needed to make another move.
DJ, along those lines, do you feel like you're getting a second chance at college football? Or did you think that maybe you'd played your last down, given what the Big Ten decided?
Not necessarily. Like worst come to worst, I mean, I was hoping that we would get another year, which like kind of the blanket waiver gave us. But I felt like I could have came back for another year, but it's just I felt like me personally, it was best for me and my family to try to get this year and now instead of waiting. But I definitely feel like if I wanted to stay there and get another year, I definitely could have.
DJ, do you view this opportunity at Pitt as a 2-year opportunity given that blanket waiver?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something to consider. Based off how like what type of year I have and how everything kind of plays out, especially because I mean we're not like you can't know but so much about how everything will turn out here as well due to like what's going on in the world with the pandemic. So like it's like we'll see how it all plays out, but definitely considering it.
DJ, Jordan Addison, as a freshman, he told us when we spoke to him that he remembers watching your highlights when he was in middle school back in your days in high school. Have you developed a relationship with him, and what's that been like? And you're like he's growing as a freshman, you're learning the program as a transfer. What's that been like in the receiver room?
I mean, we talked a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew he was from Maryland, but I never heard of the part of Maryland he was from. So he kind of cleared up where he was from. We talked about it, blah blah, and then just watching him every day, like he's a very electric kid. Like he's fast, he could make some plays. So just watching him every day is kind of helping me a lot too. You know what I'm saying? Just based off what you like the same thing you just said about him watching me in high school, it kind of makes me feel like you know what I'm saying he's making plays. Like I need to make some plays too. That kind of makes sense.
John Morgan and Judd Tallender were guys that were behind you at DeMatha. How much did you know them before you got here, and did they tell you anything about what to expect at Pitt?
Yeah, we were real close to DeMatha. Like I think that both were 2 years after me, but like as soon as I was kind of thinking about coming here, I hit both of those guys up just to kind of get a feel for what was going on, like not from a coach's perspective, but from a player's perspective, and then somebody that actually knows me personally and how they think I would kind of fit in here. So they definitely helped me out a lot with the decision coming up here.
What's your impression of the Pitt defense been so far? First time seeing those guys. What do you think of the guys you've been going up against in practice?
They definitely got some guys over on that side of the ball, like some like both the safeties are really good, got some good corners, and then the D line is pretty stout as well. I think that they're one of the best defenses in the country, from my opinion.
DJ, I know you haven't played a game yet for Pitt, but what are your thoughts on the offense and the talent around you on that side of the ball?
It's a lot of talent, like in every room, running back and receiver, and then like you said, like you got a really good quarterback back there pitching it around. So I feel like we could kind of compete with anybody in the country just off of what I've seen so far in these last couple of weeks. And I know everybody's excited to get out there on Saturday due to the uncertainty of the season and everything. Just everybody's grateful to get this opportunity. I know I am, and I can't wait to see us all out there making plays.
Any final questions for DJ?
DJ, you were with Coach Beatty. What makes him such a good coach? And obviously he's been a very successful recruiter. What kind of makes him tick, and what makes him a guy that's had so much success?
So Coach Beatty is real big on like the little details of playing receiver, and not even that, just knowing the game of football. So like he makes sure that all his guys, you know what I'm saying, know what they're doing and like why they're doing it. like down to the steps coming in and out of your route. And he's just an overall great person. Like I've known Coach Beatty for about 5 years now, and I got more respect for him than a lot of people. So just that basically. Like you can't really ask for much more from him.
DJ, do you have any? Go ahead, Jerry.
DJ, did Pitt try to recruit you coming out of high school?
I got like some recruitment letters, but not really. I ain't hear much from Pitt coming out.
DJ, did you know Mike Tomlin's son well? And if so, have you talked to his dad since you've been here?
Yeah. So me and Dino were real close because I mean he was in our room obviously, but I ran into Coach Mike one time leaving the facility and we talked. He just welcomed me to Pittsburgh. It's a cool little conversation. You know, I try to let those guys do what they got to do. And I told him to say what's up to Coach Canada for me. That was pretty much it.
DJ, really appreciate your time. First class debut media session here. Really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today for our player interviews. And like I said, we dropped some photos in that folder and we'll send out the full interviews to you as well. DJ, thanks.
No problem. Yeah, have a great day.
Thanks, DJ.
All right. Thanks, DJ.
Thanks, DJ.